Welcome to Redspan Creations. In this video, I will share with you a problem-solving format that can help you get full points in any quiz, exam, or tests that your teachers and instructors will give you. So if you want to know how you can ace your test, just keep on watching. Again, welcome to Redspan Creations YouTube channel, where we learn, create, and improve together. So as I mentioned earlier, I'll be sharing with you a problem-solving format and a technique that is proven to be an effective way to show your organized solution in a simple manner that your teachers can, teachers can help you give full points for their exams or tests or quiz. So this will not guarantee, as a disclaimer, full points if you don't study well. So you have to master the subjects or really study hard so that this format and this technique can be a great tool for you. So in this video, we will also be differentiating, or we will be comparing the solution that is with the usual format versus the usual without format, or with the format that I'll be sharing with you and the usual without format. You'll see that later. So if you're ready, let's dive in. Now, problem-solving format has parts like these parts, the given, required, solution, equation or equations, and applicable principle, and final answer. So let's see what these are in detail. So the given will give us what really is the problem showing us, or what are the things that are obvious in the problem. So there can be drawings, there can be measurements or assumptions if applicable, shapes or angles, lines. What else are there? So given are essentially the things that you know about the problem. Now the next thing is the required. The required gives us the answer to the question what is or are asked in the problem. So these are the values that are needed to be solved and your expected answer or answers. And then solution should have your equations. So the equations that you will be using based on your subjects or the topics that you're currently studying in your classes. So you should be also applying some principles and making assumptions if needed, and it will show, or it should show, your logical basis and dimensional analysis on that given problem. So this will show how well you mastered your topic or your subject, and how you can give logical analysis or strategies to find the given, to find the requireds using all the given. And then for your final answers, this should be your correct answers. These final answers should not be any answers. It should be correct. It should have applicable units and significant figures if required in the problem. And sometimes the final answers are not just numbers or not just measurements. They can be concise explanations or sentences that your teachers or instructors will require to know how well you understand or interpret the problem or the answer to the problem. And then some of your teachers may require you to box them, to encircle them, or to highlight them. Now let's use this sample problem from Lighthold 2002 College Algebra and Trigonometry, example 1 on page 88. Oops. let's read the problem. If a rectangle has a length that is 3 centimeters less than 4 times its width, and its perimeter is 19 centimeters, what are the dimensions? If you need time to analyze or to think about the problem, you can pause this video before you proceed. Okay, so we will be doing two kinds of solutions. The one is without the format first, and then the one with the format, the given, required solutions, equations, and the final answer. You should know before we solve, pro tip, some teachers and professors find relevant values, details, assumptions, equations, etc. to give partial points from organized problem-solving solutions. You'll see that later on in the video or in the solution. So now we will try to solve the problem using the usual solution or the without the format kind, or some may say it's free-flowing. Some of you may be guilty of this, sometimes myself also. When I try to simplify all the things that's on my mind and I want to put it on paper just to show how my mind works, I want to make the solution as simple as possible. But there may be some advantages if you will use the other kind, which I will show later. So here, the problem says that we have a rectangle. Of course, when we have a rectangle, there's a length and a width. And then the problem requires us to get the values of the dimensions, which are the length and the width, right? So if you are the kind who knows how to deal with word problems as quickly as possible, or if your mind works, how do I say this? If your mind works so fast that you already know how to come up with an equation or an algebraic equation to represent the factors or some of the unknowns here, you will find that L, or the length, will be equal to 4W minus 3. That is to signify that it is 3 centimeters less than 4 times its width. So, we also know that the perimeter of the rectangle is equal to 19 centimeters, right? Now, since some of you, or since some people may assume that their mind works so fast, they want to show their solutions so fast also. They want to put their thoughts on paper, and they want to, well, maybe sometimes it's due to time constraints. Sometimes the time pressure makes you write this kind of solution on paper. right? Tell it that you can comment in the comment section below if you have encountered that kind of experience. Now, our target is to get again the value of L and W, right? And we will do that using the equation for the perimeter. If you remember, perimeter is the sum of all sides of the rectangle or any shape. So in this case, that will be twice the length plus twice the width, right? So we already have an equation for your length. We will just have to substitute that to the perimeter equation. So we get 2 times 4W minus 3 plus 2W. And then, using distributive property and then simplifying the terms, we will get 8W minus 6 plus 2W. And that gives us, no. Wait. And that gives us, sorry, that gives us 10W minus 6. And then, if we want to simplify that further, and to get the value of W using the value, using 19 centimeters, or equating the simplified equation to 19, we will get, or we will be writing this like so. 10W minus 6 is equal to 19. And then, if you can transpose quickly, or if you can operate in your minds, you can just get your answer for W to be 5/2. So, this is already correct. The value is already correct. So, we have W. We just have to find L now. Since we have the equation for L, assuming that we are correct, we are correct to set up this equation. So, L will be 4 times 5/2 minus 3, and that will give us a length of 7. So, in your exam papers or quiz papers, this may look like exactly how some of you may show your solution. So let's try to see the other kind, or the other way, with the format. By the way, I hope you hear me clearly, because it's raining outside. It's raining cats and dogs, and I don't know if there's a typhoon here. So anyway, remember, we have the given, required. You can just abbreviate required like this if you want, solution, and then you can also have your equation or principles, and what else? Your final answer, right? So we will do the solution with those parts for this one. So here it is just the same problem. So we write first the given. Okay? So we draw a rectangle. Just don't mind the drawing. This is not drawn to scale, you guys. Okay. So let's have here a notation. Let letter L to be the value of your length in centimeters, because here the given is in centimeters. The unit is in centimeters. Now let's also let the value, or the letter W, to be our width in cm, or in centimeters also. So of course, length here is this one, also this one, the opposite side, the longer part, and then this will be your W, or your width. Now, what do we do next? We know that here in the first sentence, or in the first clause, if a rectangle has a length that is 3 centimeters less than 4 times its width, it says here, or it can be a clue for us to have an equation for the length, because as we already know, this is a word problem. So this will be 4W, or 4 times the width, less 3 centimeters. And we know that all these are measured in centimeters. So we put the binomial, or the algebraic representation of that clause in parentheses, and then we put centimeters there. Why? So that we can recall, or we can always remember. Let's try to change the color, so that we can always remember to put the units. Okay, now where's my black color? All right, now what do we do next? We write the required. What is asked in the problem, or what are asked in the problem? We are to find the dimensions, the length and the width in centimeters. So we know also the value of the perimeter. We forgot something here in our given. Let's put here P to be the perimeter in centimeters. So P is, according to the problem, 19 centimeters. So that is a numerical value, and it does not contain any variable. So we can just use that to equate, or we can use that to equate the equation. We can use that to find the variables that we are looking for. So next is our equation. So the equation for the perimeter is 2 times the length plus 2 times the width, right? Now, we go to the solution. Using this same equation, P is equal to 2L plus 2W. We will substitute the value of the length. But before we do that, we can have a notation here. Finding, what can we find first? Finding the width, right? Because the flow of our solution will go like this. Find W to find the length. Find W using perimeter equation. That is our strategy. Actually, you can put this in your solution. You can use that to show your teachers, or to show your instructors rather, that you have a diagram, or you have a way to solve your problem, a logical way to deal with this kind of problem. So, finding the value of our width, we have this solution. So again, we will just substitute the value or the equation for the length. So that's 4W minus 3 plus 2W. See here that we have W's, and it will just be easy for us to find the value of the W, of the width rather. So distributing, that's 8W. Oh, we forgot something here. Put them in brackets and then put the unit centimeter. So this will be 8W minus 6 plus 2W. Then put them again in brackets in centimeters so that you will never forget the units. And then simplifying, that will just be 10W minus 6. Put them in parentheses or in brackets, centimeters, and that is just equal to 19 cm. Alright, so we will use this part here to get the value of our W. So 10W minus 6 cm equals 19 cm. We will get, or we will transpose the sixth value here, 10W is equal to 19 plus 6 centimeters. 10W is equal to 25 cm. W is equal to 25 over 10 cm, which leads us to W to be simplified as 5/2 centimeters. And then we said earlier that you can either box your final answer and circle them or even highlight. Okay? So that is the first dimension. We already solved for the width. Now we will try to solve for the length. And it's just easy. We put here finding the length. Since we already know, or we set up the equation, assuming it is correct, it's 4W minus 3 centimeters. It's equal to 4 times 5/2 minus 3 cm. That will be 10 minus 3 cm, which gives us a length that is 7 centimeters. Again, boxing your final answer or highlighting it to show that there is a value for another required. So, that will be your whole solution or your final solution in this organized solution that I presented or I suggested for you. Now, let's try to think like your teachers. If I were your teacher, there are parts of the solution that are already marked or has credit allotment or grade allotment scores. So for example, the given, this is too, okay, can you see it? I hope you can see it. For example, the given is 2 points. The required is 1 point. The equation or writing the equation will give you 2 points. Equation or equations. And then the solution will give you maybe 3 points for finding the W, and then 2 points for finding the length, and then assuming that there are correct units, values, and process. So that's how maybe your teachers allot some points. So that's where your scores will come from. So if this is the case, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. For example, this quiz or this exam will be a total of 10 points, right? So there may be points here that you may miss if you don't follow or if you don't give the complete solution. So this is just an example. Some teachers may have their way or their own evaluation steps. But I'll show you how I usually do this. Okay, so here I give points for the drawing, and then I give correct bigger points for this one, correctly setting this up for the word problems, and then for putting also the relevant values that are needed for the solution. Sometimes it will also be nice to put this so that your teachers will know what value or what variables you use in this kind of word problem solution. Now, if for the required, I'll give, for example, 0.25, 0.25, or 0.5 points. I can give small portions for that, because this is just an easy task for you to identify. But there may be times that required, or finding what is or are required in the problem may be difficult. So point system for that will vary. And then the equation. This part or this type of problem, or this example, is straightforward kind. So I can give, for example, 1 point for this, or 2 points. 2 points max. If the evaluation, or if the goal of this assessment, or of this test or quiz, is to apply the perimeter equation for a rectangle. And then I will show the students if they can show what their plans to solve the problem. But this may not be required. Some of you may just use this so that you can always be guided in your solutions. Oh, by the way, I give big points, or I give minus if I give points for correct units here. And then if your units are not to be found anywhere, some students were given deductions. I don't know with your teachers or instructors, but please do find the effort to put your equations, especially for the college and senior high school, or the upper levels, especially for your APs or advanced placement subjects, or your higher subjects, because there may be what you call dimensional analysis. Oh, wrong spelling. Sorry, dimensional analysis. That may be a separate video. So units are very important. Now, segregating or separating your solutions, or the parts of your solutions, are greatly appreciated by your teachers, especially for this one. This part here may be a bigger chunk of your solution points, because this, as you can see, is a longer kind. You can, in this part, you are evaluated on how you can apply the perimeter equation, and to find any value that is required, and also to use, I don't know, the manipulation of your variables in an equation. And boxing or encircling your final answer will help your teachers find your final answers, or find what's the conclusion of that specific part of your solution. So if you put here finding W, your teacher should see that there is a value for your W, which in this case it has a numerical value and a unit. So here it should have numerical value plus the unit. And then this part here, this chunk here, is a small portion of your solution that may be of value. This can be 2 points, or maybe 3, depending on your teacher. So if we put here finding L, your teacher should see the value of L in the end part of your solution here. So again, if this is correct, you should have a numerical value and the unit, and that should give you full points for that. So if this is your type of solution, and if the total score for this one is 10, I can give a perfect score for this one, right? Now let's compare that to the first kind. See, this is so simple. And then I will find your drawings. Where's your given? This is how I will mark this. Where's your given? Okay, so you set up this equation. There will be a point for that, or points for that. You put here 19 centimeters. I can give you points for that. Okay. And then this part here, I can give you not a full point. If this is, for example, 3 points in total, this will just give you 3 less, maybe 1 point, because you don't have a unit. You don't have unit. You don't have a unit here. You did not box your final answer. And then in this case, for the L, same. You don't have a unit, and you did not box or encircle or highlight your final answer. So if the total score is 10, I can just give you maybe 7 or 8. And just how big of a difference that is to make an effort to show your complete solution, rather than to do this kind of usual free-flowing, non-organized solution. So I hope you see the difference on how your teachers will be grading your papers or your solutions. And I hope that you find the advantage of showing logically your works of mine. do you know what I mean? So if you know, there's a saying that I will share to you. If you know and understand, you can show. You can show it. That's, I think, what I can leave you for this video. If you know and understand what you're doing, you can definitely show it to anyone, to anywhere, and on any kind of solution. Like, yeah, as organized as possible. It means you understand it better, you understand it, you know it so well, and you can share it with others, or you can teach it to anyone in your class, to your peers, to your instructors, etc. And that's it for this video, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you find this useful. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified every time there's a new video uploaded. So goodbye and see you in the next one.